Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and I have something in common this morning. They're going to fine me $75,000 for punching my hat there? Yes, the penalty report is out for this week, and shockingly, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has actually been punished for his role in the fight on Sunday night after North Wilkesboro. In case you forgot, by the way, NASCAR has promoted this 12 times on their Twitter, at least 12 times on their Twitter. And as for their other socials, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, whatever other social media is out there, I don't know. Well, basically, just to sum it up, Kyle Busch and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. took Kyle Busch 3 wide on lap 1, turn 2. Kyle Busch got up into the wall. Stenhouse did not touch him, but Kyle Busch felt that it was too aggressive, and at the time, he thought he had been hit by Stenhouse. So he retaliated, and he hit the next lap in turn 1. Lap 2, turn 1, Kyle Busch opted to rear-end Stenhouse, bump him endlessly until Stenhouse's car was obliterated. Well, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., because he got intentionally wrecked, got out of the car pissed off, parked it in the 8-car stall, went up and talked to the 8 crew and said, hey man, let's talk after the race. He goes, does his post-race media that he has to do, talks to the TV and says, they ask, are you going to do anything else? And he says, well, just wait till after the race. You'll see. And see, we did, because when Kyle Busch came up, they talked for about 10 seconds, and then Ricky Stenhouse Jr. said, oh man, my knuckles didn't pop. All right, you get the point. Boom! Punched him in the face. A brawl ensued. Crew members are flying everywhere. Ricky Stenhouse Jr.'s dad is trying to fight Kyle Busch, which, by the way, he has been punished too. A couple other crew guys have been punished. And Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has been punished in this. And that is why this is stupid. Just genuinely stupid. If this was the first time this had happened, the first time a driver has thrown a punch and they did this, okay, cool. But it's not. We have seen plenty of instances of drivers going and throwing punches and starting brawls, and the drivers never get punished. So, cool. And I'm fine with that. The drivers, let them express their emotions. Let them go fight after the race. Now, there's a limit. If Stenhouse has Kyle Busch on the ground and is beating his face in to the point that Kyle Busch needs medical attention, then yeah, you might want to fine him, maybe do a little bit more. But Stenhouse threw 1 punch and the NASCAR security got involved, as they are instructed to do. Cool. We've seen this before. Last year, Ross Chastain punched Noah Gragson in the face. No punishment. 7 years ago, Kyle Busch, straight out of the car, walked down, did not even let Joey Logano get a word in, punched him in the face. Well, I don't know if he landed a punch. He attempted to. Attempted murder and murder, they both get punished. Well, this would be assault. But, I'm making an extreme to make a point. Let's read the press release. NASCAR officials issued penalties Wednesday morning stemming from an altercation after Sunday's NASCAR All-Star race, fining Ricky Stenhouse Jr. $75,000 for punching fellow Cup Series driver Kyle Busch and suspending 2 members from the JTG Doherty racing team. Stenhouse's knock set off a post-race fracas between his crew and Busch's number 8 Richard Childress racing team and the NASCAR Cup Series garage at North Wilkesboro. Officials handed down multi-race suspensions to 2 crew members and indefinitely suspended Richard Stenhouse, Ricky's father, for violations of the NASCAR Member Code of Conduct. Team mechanic Clint Merrick was suspended for the next 8 Cup Series races through Pocono Raceway on July 14th for his role, and tuner Keith Matthews was suspended for the next 4 Cup Series events through Iowa on June 16th. Yeah, I couldn't tell you which ones those are in the fight. I'm assuming they touched Kyle Busch at some point. They either tried to fight him or something. But, the rule has usually been, it's not like a for sure definitive rule, but usually the unwritten rule is that when crew members involved, if they touch the opposing driver in any way, you're done. You're gone. You're suspended for a bit. Do not touch the other drivers. That is a big no-no. You get in trouble for that. But if you fight each other, cool. good for you, pit crew. As long as you're not throwing punches or like choking people, cool. But that is the big no-no, is that if you touch the drivers in any way, shape, or form. And NASCAR's been consistent on that one. Remember a few years ago when Joey Logano and Denny Hamlin had a fight at Martinsville? I think it was the fall of 2019. Hamlin and Joey are trying to fight, and one of Joey Logano's pit crew members grabs Denny Hamlin from the collar and throws him on the ground. Yeah, that was a big suspension. I think it was at least 8 races. So if you touch a driver, that's a suspension. If you attempt to punch a driver, that is a bigger suspension. And so, yeah, they were consistent on that one. I'll give it to them there. NASCAR, you were consistent on that call. As I said, good for you. Now, Elton Sawyer, he went on SiriusXM radio, explained himself. I'll read you his quotes. I think it's fair to say that when you have crew members and family members that put their hands on our drivers, we're going to react. There's not a lot of detail I'm going to get into due to the fact that these are appealable penalties, and I want to make sure that we're fair to that process. With that being said, and we've been consistent about this, when crew members and family members get involved, we are going to react. That's exactly what we did. And that's exactly what I said earlier. When non-drivers touch drivers, you're done. You're suspended. The only instance you will be allowed to see a pit crew member touch a driver is if it is a pit crew member, like if a 47 or an 8 member, like let's say Kyle Busch's pit crew member, if he grabbed Kyle Busch from the fight and pulled him out, he's allowed to do that. That's his own driver. He's trying to get his driver out of the fight. Totally okay. Totally acceptable. Same thing for Stenhouse's crew. If Stenhouse's crew sees the fight, grabs Ricky, pulls him out, totally fine. Totally acceptable. But it's when you touch other drivers that it becomes a problem. As for the reason for punishing Stenhouse, when you wait 198 laps and you make those decisions that were made, again, we're going to react to that. Once we get to the point where it gets physical, we want the 2 drivers to be able to have time to express their differences. Once it escalates to a physical altercation, we are going to react. Granted, there was no tunnel. Granted, there was no crossover bridge to allow Stenhouse Jr. to leave the track. Better decisions could have been made throughout that period of time between the incident on the track and incident in the garage post-race. So basically, they're saying they fined him because he had time to think about it. I feel like that's worse. He sat in there for 2 hours because he got intentionally wrecked. If anything, that should boil it more. When you immediately fight right after, that's because the emotions are hot, they're right there and all that, and, it's expected. But when you sit there for 2 hours and watch the guy who wrecked you race still, that would enrage me even more. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but the thing that makes me most mad about this is I counted it this morning. NASCAR has posted a video, picture, promoted a podcast involving Ricky Stenhouse Jr.'s fight 12 times on Twitter. I think I already said this. How many times have they done it on others? I don't know, but that is what makes me most mad about this situation. NASCAR has promoted the ever-living crap out of this fight. It has been 3 days since this has happened. That is 4 posts a day. And we're at the beginning of day 3. So it's basically 6 a day. And they're going to use it in their promotionals. They're going to put it on a commercial this Sunday at Charlotte. I guarantee it. There's going to be a highlight promotional video of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. punching Kyle Busch. They do it all the time. They use the freaking Bubba Wallace intentionally wrecking Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott intentionally wrecking Denny Hamlin in their promotional videos, in their commercials. It makes no sense. Why would you use these highlights if they're so wrong? If they are so bad, why would you turn around and use them? If anything, you should be paying them for giving you such a great promotional piece, for giving you great content. You should pay Ricky Stenhouse Jr. $75,000. It makes no sense to me why Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is getting punished. If they had been punishing drivers before for throwing punches, I would be completely okay with this. I would say, you know what? You're following your precedent. You're following what you've done before. That is completely fine. completely acceptable. But no, they don't fine people usually. They don't punish people for getting in fights, and that's why this has completely rubbed me the wrong way. That is why I'm mad as ever. But it's so early in the morning, I don't really feel like yelling. But yes, Daniel Suarez has already said something on this. Suarez said, if it's so wrong, then why is it all over NASCAR social channels? We should be allowed to show our emotions. I don't get it. I agree. It makes no sense, Daniel. It really doesn't. 0 sense is made of this. It genuinely makes no sense. NASCAR is going to promote this fight like they're going to milk the crap out of it. They're going to milk it till the udder is dry. They are going to use this in every single video. But Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is getting fined for it. It makes no sense. It's all because, he had 198 laps to think about what he was going to do. Well, that's freaking stupid. That's terrible logic if you ask me. So, yeah. In conclusion, Ricky Stenhouse Jr.'s dad, as expected, is suspended indefinitely. A couple crew guys got suspended for putting their hands on Kyle Busch. Not really shocked there. They're pretty consistent with that. The one issue, though, is that they were inconsistent with the driver penalty. They were penalizing Ricky Stenhouse Jr. for punching Kyle Busch, which they have never done before. So, once again, it's dumb. I think this is going to potentially discourage fights in the future. Drivers are now going to think before they do anything because they have seen one time that a driver got punished for letting his emotions be shown, for attempting a fight. The fact of the matter is, it's great promotional stuff. It's great for social media. It's great. Everyone was freaking talking about ESPN. I got an ESPN notification. Do you know how often I get ESPN notifications about NASCAR? Someone either has to die, almost die, do something bad off track, or it has to be the Daytona 500. It is extremely rare. That's how rare it is. So for NASCAR to get all these eyeballs, to get all this attention, everyone will be like, yeah, that's cool. There was a fight. He punched him in the face. Yeah, man. And now you're fining the guy? That's a weak move. It's truly a weak move. So let me know what your thoughts are. If you disagree with me, you're allowed to do that. Cool. I'm cool with that. But thanks for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. We're going to talk about Stewart-Haas Racing this afternoon. That'll be a fun one. But thanks for watching this video again. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. I'll try not to lose too much sleep over this.